welcome, welcome, welcome. And my headphones is making my hair mess up. Yeah. Welcome to Beauty and the Beat. I have Miss Veronica Loving here. I appreciate you for coming and sharing your time.
Thank you for having me.
You have Feeding a Monster, a memoir that we're going to get into because you're an author and a motivational speaker as well,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
But we're going to start this off. Usually we start it off however we want to start it off. Hot topics, getting to our guests, hellos and all that. But we got a call in. Let's talk to this caller because I think you started early. Welcome, caller, to Beauty and the Beat. How you doing?
Hi.
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 Hi, Veronica. It's Vicki.
Hi, Vicki.
I think the last time I saw you, we were in 6036 and your water broke.
Well, congratulations on that baby.
She's a 22-year-old baby now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my gosh. Your book is just beautiful.
Thank you.
And I wanted to know, because I've been writing up here. I live in Portland now.
Okay.
But I've been writing up here about all of, how long have we been nursing? 30, 40 years.
Now you telling my age. I was a newborn when I started nursing.
That's right. You were just a baby.
Well, tell us about, since you know Veronica and you guys have a history, have you read the book Feeding a Monster?
Yes, I have. I just got it when I saw it come on Facebook. I got it because I always admired Veronica for her strength and beauty and smart. So I got the book. We haven't seen each other for many years.
Wow. Well, that's awesome. Well, I love that your fans are already calling in.
I know,
and your friends, and they're supporting the book.
What'd you think?
And so, Veronica, I have a question.
Okay.
So were you, keeping a journal during all this time, or did you just sit down and write this all at one time, or how did that come about?
I did have journals, but I did review them. But actually, you know how when something just kind of inspires you, what happened was I was really, when he got acquitted, I don't want to give away too much for people who haven't read it, but when my ex got acquitted, I felt like I have to do something to protect other people. So when I decided to write, and also when Jasmine was struggling so hard with, she was trying to kill herself and all the things she went through from the stress of the situation, something just told me to write. So I kind of forced her to write, and we were just sitting side by side, and I just wrote it, probably in a matter of 3 months.
Wow.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. That's the best way I think things come out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
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 Well, I'll let you go and answer other people's questions, but I just wanted to say hi and tell you what good memories I have.
What was your name again?
Vicki Amador.
Vicki Amador. We appreciate you for calling, and we're glad that you enjoy the book. We're going to keep tuning in and listening while I get to talk to her and talk about all of her experience as she wrote the book, so you can get maybe some more answers to your questions.
I will. Thanks a lot.
Vicki.
Thank you. Appreciate you for calling.
Bye-bye, Veronica.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well, we starting off early. You got fans from way talking about, I remember when your water broke. I'm like, well, what's she going to say? Because I don't even know all the story yet. I want to know.
Okay.
Okay. So she was in the hospital with you?
No, she and I are both nurses.
So we
worked
gotcha.
at the county back in the day,
okay.
and we were in the ICU, and they don't do babies in there. And my water broke at work.
You are kidding.
While I was sitting here, this dying lady, I was like, I'm going to be right back.
Oh, my gosh. What an experience. You should have put that in there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you wrote this book, Feeding a Monster, a memoir, written by Veronica Loving with Jasmine Jackson. And then I'm only asking because I heard you mention Jasmine. Who is Jasmine Jackson? Is that another?
Jasmine Jackson is my daughter.
Got it.
Yeah, that's her on the cover, too.
Okay.
We
so
look
it's
like sisters, I know.
You
no,
sure do. The beauty runs deep. So it's the two of you. It's a memoir of mother and daughter. Mm-hmm. I love that.
She added the back. So she kind of wrote her, not really in the back, but her stories kind of weaved into mine.
Mm-hmm. So Feeding a Monster is a healing and inspirational true story about a woman and her daughter's journey through hell and then their return to themselves. These two women share their painfully honest version of events that has transformed their lives. So tell us, what made you, because honestly there was, I guess when you say the hell and back, there was some turmoil, there was a relationship. Feeding a Monster was, I guess, quote unquote, your husband at that time? Okay.
Well, kind of. It's kind of like a metaphorical.
A metaphor, okay.
situation. He absolutely became a monster.
Got it.
But I kind of take accountability on how I fed that.
Okay.
And you kind of feed monsters with insecurity. I was trying to turn this off. I'm so sorry.
No worries.
We were
Make
trying
sure mine's
to.
on.
You feed monsters with insecurity, the things that you don't like about yourself, and then you allow things to happen to you that you probably wouldn't have, you know, if you didn't have like those kind of experiences. So he had his own monsters that created him to be the way he was.
Okay.
But basically he was a serial rapist, and I didn't know.
Before you even got together, this was something.
Now
that
I
had
know.
happened. Okay.
No, it happened while we were together.
Oh, okay.
So apparently, well, what happened was he raped my daughter, and when she was 21, he raised her, and then when she became 21, he raped her. But
Your daughter being Jasmine?
being Jasmine.
Okay.
Yeah. So just that whole story on how it came out, how we found out, and then once he got acquitted, I had to kind of take accountability. Like, there's people out here, he's gonna still be around doing these things. So it started off to be about him,
Right.
but then you have to take ownership for who you are and why you attracted this person, why I covered up for him, but I never covered up for a rape. I covered up for him being a cheater, a liar, and I tolerated a lot.
Okay.
What I'm trying to
We're
say.
not going to even get to get into this book because they calling in already. We got another caller. Welcome, caller. Thank you for calling Beauty and the Bee. You're here with Veronica Loving. You have a question for us?
Hi, Veronica. This is Carla. I just had a question for you. I read your book, and it was definitely inspirational. It was intense. My question for you is, after having gone through that experience, how do you trust a man again?
Ooh, that's a good question, Carla. I think that what you have to understand is that you never need to trust someone else. When you trust God and then you start trusting yourself, then you'll make better decisions. So if you put your trust in someone else, then you're always going to fail. So
Okay.
you kind of have to come to that term. It's hard. It's not easy.
So do you do, like, extra things to protect yourselves and your loved ones?
Yeah, you know what? I didn't want to close down and not date and not be out there and think everybody was horrible. So what I do is I try to trust the instinct that I have. So if someone's energy isn't right with me, then I kind of let it go. Even though no matter how fine he is or how much, you know, he may have, I have to let that person go. So that's
makes
kind of
sense.
like a exercise that I do, which is hard because, you know, you think, okay, this might be my Prince Charming, but more than likely your instinct, well, always your instinct is right. So that's what I really do.
That definitely makes sense. Thank you, Veronica.
Thanks for calling, Carla.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Thank you for calling. So a lot of people are moved by your story when they read the book. And I went on Amazon, which is available on Amazon.com, correct?
Yes.
And I read a lot of everyone that had a comment gave it 5 stars. And we're talking about how it moved their lives and how it inspired them in what they were going through. Maybe they didn't explain what. So I want to know, what was that breaking point that led you to write this book? Was it what we just said, the fact that what happened to your daughter, or what was it that said, I'm going to write a memoir, and what caused you, that took that 3 months out of your time with your daughter to say, let me help you and maybe heal her, what she was going through? What made you write the book?
Well, I think that it definitely was started with revenge.
Oh,
It
okay,
started
revenge.
out like,
Okay,
oh,
like this is
hell
about
no.
him. Okay.
Right, you're gonna pay for this.
Okay.
It started.
Okay.
For, you know, and then when I started writing it, it didn't feel right.
Okay.
Because I'm not
It did not
vengeful.
feel right to you?
Right.
It didn't feel
right
to
me.
be revengeful.
Right.
Got it.
It
Okay.
wasn't, I just knew that wasn't the way to go. So then I started thinking, I'm going to stop holding everybody's secrets. So little things that happened to me in my life, like people betraying me, I was the person that would hold your secret.
Right.
Because I don't want you to look bad.
Right.
But then I thought, then that left me open for people to keep doing it to me. So I
Or
became
make
this
you-
victim. And I wanted to let go of the victimhood. So I just told the truth, my truth.
Right.
And when I saw the reaction of people healing and speaking their truth, I'm like, there's something to this, you know? And then it just kind of snowballed after that.
So I don't want to give too much of the story, because what you're saying is it was the turmoil. How long were you married
I was married 21 years.
to this person that is the subject of this book? So in 21 years, this was going on.
And I was like,
and your daughter
21 years.
And your daughter was 22 at that time. That means he's been around your daughter her entire life.
Right.
It's not his daughter biologically.
No.
But he's been around your daughter your entire life.
I was pregnant when I met him.
Got it.
And he was really nice, and he came, he was doing all the extra stuff that nobody else was doing. So he came, he kind of swooped in, and he was a baseball player. He played for the Houston Astros.
Okay.
Yeah. So he, he had all the good qualities, and he was
you
really
were looking
sweet.
for. Right. Okay.
So I had been with people who haven't been, honest. People lied. People cheated. So I was like, I'm gonna date him.
Right.
Who's so good to me.
Right.
And he loved my daughter, and he was there when he wasn't at the hospital when she was born, but right after we became a couple, and there were early signs. It's almost like you start seeing signs of people, but I was a fixer, so I didn't want to believe it. I could fix it. I could be like, okay, well, he's lying, but he has to understand he doesn't have to lie to me.
Right.
Because I'm going to show him.
Right. Like, it's okay. Your secrets are safe with me.
Yeah.
I get it.
So I started, that's when the path started. But when I went back, when I started writing the book, I went back and saw how I became that person.
Okay.
Because as a child, things happened. I covered it up. Things weren't healed in my life. And so I attracted this person that was going to use me as a beard.
Like the power of attraction, kind of?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So how do you feel like he used you as a beard?
Because I think that, especially now that I know about sociopathic behavior,
Okay.
then I was just in it.
Right.
I didn't know. But they're going to attract people who are kind of straight-laced and who are going to do the right thing, so that they can do their little dirt on the side. It's almost like the Down Low brothers. Even though he wasn't down low, I'm not saying he was down low, but he had a whole secret life that he
Or
needed
even
to hide.
cheater, someone that's just not monogamous in a relationship. You'll hide. Oh, he in there sneaking on the phone. Oh, it's okay. He's talking to his brother.
Right.
Something like that. Like where
You're
just,
like, hey, you came home at 4 a.m. again.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
You better stop that.
Right. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
And then a lot of my friends, because I was a professional, people didn't know that that's what I was going through.
Because you held it together.
Right.
Okay.
And that's what he needed. He needed someone like that. Someone
Okay.
who could, and he also needed somebody who could make money. So that was one of his attractions, I'm sure.
Okay.
But I didn't know that. you
Right.
know. I just wanted somebody that was supportive and kind.
So
And he
he's
could do
feeding
that.
off of you financially, mentally, and
Yes.
basically robbing you of the joy of the relationship.
Hello.
Okay.
I'm all yes, girl, preach.
No, I'm listening to the book. So
Yeah.
what is it? What is the message of healing, or what is the message that you want the readers to get from this book? Because everything is so positive. What is it? We know why you wrote it, because it was kind of like revenge, but as you wrote it, it was more cathartic, and you said,
Right.
I have to tell my story. But what message are you trying to get to the reader that is picking up this book for the first time and said, I want to read her story. I want to know what she went through. This is about her husband. It's a we don't even know that this is you and your daughter, but this is a story of a mother and daughter and their journey.
I think that there's a lot of folds in it that kind of it touches postpartum depression, date rape. I think young men, if you read it, you kind of need to know that if a woman, you get her drunk and she is kind of a little tipsy or actually drunk, and you have sex with her, that can be considered rape. A lot of people don't know that.
Right.
So it's a lot of eye-opening things, but more importantly, it's to say that you can make it.
Okay.
And a lot of times people look at me, and I've always had a career. Since I was 20, I had a career. I've done a lot of things in my life, but you need balance. So I might have been balanced over here, but I was so off over here.
Right.
And you're so busy shining over here, so you're going to cover up over there.
Right.
So it's almost like, hey, I'm just like you. People get molested, but we got to learn how to heal together. We
Okay.
can't let that stop us.
Right.
People get raped. How
Right.
are we going to move past that?
Right.
And also, I definitely want to put out the word and somehow try to begin the healing process of eradicating molestation, rape, all that stuff. It's a big task, but, if we don't talk about it, it's not going to begin.
It just shoves under the rug. So we touched on molestation right now, but we were saying that you were married to a serial rapist that you don't want to give away this story that somehow got acquitted. So in the midst of all this story, in the 21 years of you being married, did that not only affect your daughter, but did it affect you?
Him being the rapist?
Yes.
Well, I didn't know at
Right.
all. So when I found out, I actually thought he was insane. I thought he lost it, like snapped. But then after we went to try, my daughter was strong enough, and I thank her every day that she could tell me. You know, whatever our relationship was, thank God she told me.
Because you found that out before these things happened to your daughter, correct?
No.
Oh, everything happened. It was like a snowball. You found out everything.
I found out the day she told me. I believed her. We went straight to the police station, but I was in shock because this man that was cool. We had everybody's kids at our house.
Right.
He was like, I'm like, okay, he's a cheater, but how does cheater transform to rapist? So
right.
It was hard to digest that, but I still knew that my daughter wasn't a liar.
Correct.
And she loved her dad.
And you believed your daughter, which is something that a lot of times mothers have a hard time separating the love of a man and the love of their own child.
Hello. And when I go out and speak, I see that a lot, and that breaks my heart. But if I can help the women who have chosen that, then that's a benefit, you know.
Sure.
And so, but my daughter, she told me.
Okay.
And
she at that time was over 18.
She was 21.
Okay.
And then then people started coming after the trial. People were waiting. From what I know now, people were waiting in the wings, like they better get that man, like because
it had happened to them.
To so many people
that you knew, or just that
some
that
people
just
I knew, some people I didn't.
Wow.
People would hit me on Facebook after, so they were like waiting to get him. So what his game was?
How does everyone keep this secret?
I know they should have dropped notes. You know, like
I mean,
he did. You know, like I would have been like, okay, I got 17 of these notes. You know,
right? Like the Grim Reaper or something.
Yes.
Remember how it's like, well, y'all live next door. Yeah, nobody knew nothing.
No.
Okay, so go. We got another caller every time I get in my question. Yeah. But you say you did not get any notes, so everything was a snowball. You found out at one time when your daughter told you went to the
after
police.
the fact.
Okay.
Yeah, and then people came in after the trial.
Okay.
And some right before. So I started knowing that, oh my God, he didn't just snap. This is a pattern. He's been doing this for years.
Wow.
It was traumatizing, like, to say the least.
We have another caller. We're going to take this caller. It dropped. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry about that. Call back. Call us back. You're so interesting. Okay, so you found out after the fact you got these notes, and then you immediately
No, I
had
didn't
him.
get any notes.
I mean, you didn't. I didn't mean to say notes. You didn't get any notes. You got these posts on Facebook once you revealed your story and told this happened to your daughter by your, at that time, husband. You mentioned it. You started telling your story outwardly. It was no longer this secret that you held in, because it wasn't a secret to you. You didn't know.
Right.
Okay, so you're writing this book. Well, you haven't read the book yet, but you turned them into the police. How did you find out that there were others? Or because serial indicates this is a pattern, like you're saying. Right. How did you find out there were others and that the police knew that were they looking for this person?
No, and one of the reasons he was so, he got off, in my opinion, is because he was such a good citizen, never been to jail. You know, a lot of members of his family and stuff have had some police trouble. And he was the model citizen, you know, the athlete, the good guy. So they were just shocked, just as shocked as I was.
Right.
But during the trial, certain people, like some of his friends would come up and they would say, you know, yeah, I knew he was doing this. You know, they started being more open, but our entire relationship, they wouldn't tell me anything about anything, because I thought they were all
And you guys share friends, of course, in 20-some years.
Yeah.
And family, no one said anything, no one knew the wiser. It was just something he was hiding.
No.
So what do you feel like is behind his own psychological, what would be his reasons for hiding that, or even going outward to do that? Did you find out did he ever give you an explanation? I'm sorry?
No. He says that it's the big mistake. He just says it was a big mistake.
Everything?
I know.
Because we're saying this is your daughter,
yes.
right? That we're talking about. So this is somebody, your flesh and blood, you birthed, that he helped raise.
Yes.
And you're asking him, why did you do this? I went to jail
to visit him. I put money on his books. I was insane. I think when you're...
Wait a minute, after?
After he did it.
You didn't...
What I was trying to do... Now when I'm thinking back on it, I know it's crazy. But when you're in it, first you're in shock. And then any kind of like death or this crazy, something that changes your life instantly like that, you're not responsible for the way you act.
You're not. And
you learn who you really are.
Right.
It's probably a better way. So I would go to his jail, and my purpose was to make him tell the truth.
True, I get it.
And I was thinking, don't put her on the stand. Like, don't do this to her.
You wanted to hear his story.
Well, I wanted him to say, I did it.
Okay.
You know, and I love my children, and I will stand up, and I don't know why I did. You know, I wanted to hear that, but I didn't. And he just kept, like, referring back, trying to manipulate me again. And one day I realized he's really gonna put her on trial. Like, he's really gonna do this.
He denied it from
right. Well, in one of the days, to the police officer, he said, my daughter doesn't lie. And on the tape, which they played in court, his mom, we were talking to him on the phone. His mom took the phone, went in another room, but they played that tape. And he said, I didn't rape her on purpose. So she was like, good. You know, I'm glad you didn't, baby. You know, and I was
But
like,
she was on your side, correct?
no, nobody. That's not fair to say. I think everybody was in shock, and it was hard to believe.
It was. Okay.
So I'm sure that, you know, people had to sit back and say, well, why would she lie? You know, if they were calling me a liar. But what was hard for us and my children is his family kind of just didn't do anything. They kind of froze, and they protected him. Like, that was their first priority.
Do you guys have children together?
Yeah.
You
We
do?
had a total of 5 kids. He had a daughter, I had a daughter.
Okay.
And then we adopted my son, and we
Okay.
have 2 kids together. So it's
Okay.
5 of them in total.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how do you guys co-parent now, dealing with this situation?
Well, our kids are grown.
All of your kids.
But
are
he never, actually what he did was, when he went to jail, I think our youngest was 15, he financially didn't help.
grown. Right.
And when he came out, he took money out of my bank account, made it harder on me, you know, did all kind of things. I didn't share that with my kids because it was enough, you know.
Right.
God, they've been through enough. But that just let me know, okay, you said you loved me, although you didn't love me ever. Like,
Right.
ever. Because if you're going to take, you know, food out of your own kids' mouths. First of all, when you attack one of my children, you already showed me who you were.
Right.
But it took a long time to get there. And it was scary because I thought he was crazy. But
Right.
now I know he wasn't crazy. He was just running his game and sick. Right. And I was a part of the game. And I
Right.
didn't know.
So, okay, so we kind of know what happened as far as an acquittal or whatever. Was there any, if there wasn't a responsibility to you as his wife and mother of his children and just the parenting aspect of what you guys have built together, was there any responsibility on his part that he wouldn't sought help? Was there
I
some
don't
kind
think
of,
so. I think that, I don't know because we separated after
Okay.
that. And we've
there's no
never,
communication?
No.
You don't talk to him at all? Your children don't speak with him?
I think my youngest is still, it's almost like an atomic bomb dropped on us. So we had to deal with the worst person injured first, but the other ones were struggling, you know. So often, you know, then I'm over here, you know, I'm trying to save this one and then that one. And I think my youngest right now is having the hardest time because she really loved her father, and I think they all loved him.
Yeah.
But they were older, and for some reason they accepted it faster.
Right.
She knows he did it, but she's still like, Daddy, you know, in her mind is what I see. Like,
Wow.
please come on back, you know, be the person we knew you were.
Right.
And I just feel so sad because he's not there.
Right. Wow. Okay.
She struggles.
So are there any, okay, having gone through this, writing this book, and you want people to know that it's life after, that's kind of the message in the book, are there any warning signs that you could kind of, no, seriously, because this is a lot to take in, and I don't want to keep asking you, because read the book, the answers are in here, this is what this book is about, but what were, maybe if you, looking back, are there any warning signs for someone to look at this, that this could possibly be going on?
I say absolutely. And I think that you don't know how far a person is going to go.
Right.
You don't know, like, a person is going to be a murderer. You don't know that. But you do know a person is a liar.
Okay.
Now, is that set with you? Are you a liar? If you guys are lying together and that's how you roll, then
That's what it is.
that's
Okay.
what it is. But if you are in a relationship or you're trying to attract people to you or whatever your situation is, when they don't align up with your character, then you got to, like, check yourself.
Okay.
And you really, like, he lied, he cheated, he lied. He did so many things that I could have walked away from.
Right.
You know, so many times.
But love.
Now, I don't want to call it love. I want to call it sick. Oh, you said what?
I can't live with that.
What, love?
No, I'm saying with the lying, cheating.
Right. Everybody has their own. Like, I have some friends that have been physically abused, and
Right.
I couldn't tolerate that because I
Right.
can't take pain.
Right.
But
Like,
you
ain't
know what I
gonna
mean?
whoop- right. I got
And then
it.
somebody else can't tolerate cheating. But I think when you see someone's character, it's right there.
Right.
But you got to be strong enough within yourself, and you got to love yourself enough, and you got to heal your wounds before you really connect with anybody. Because if you don't, you're gonna just have a replay.
And
of
they're
all
gonna
that.
keep salt on them, healing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So do you I guess, communicate? Are you really close with your children who are now grown so that they don't also enter into relationships that could kind of have these same type of adverse effects on their relationship.
You know, we are, but it's not easy like I want it to be. I want them to listen to me and do exactly what I say. You know,
that's
follow because I did.
Because I'm the mama, and I said so.
I know what's right for you, but no,
they
have their own paths and their own journeys, and I'm actually in the middle of, you know, like grieving the fact that I'm not responsible for everything that they do. You know, and they're having a hard time because their father-bond relationship was broken. And anytime you have someone that's that much betrayal, you're going to have so much hurt. And if you don't address it and heal it, it's going to play out in your life. You're going to choose people that aren't good for you because you don't feel good about yourself. And you're dealing
with hurt.
Yes, and that's where they are now. And if they listen to me, and went to therapy every day, you know, and did the things that they need to do, then I feel like they would overcome it, and I know they will. But they all have their struggles.
Okay,
they do. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay. And then, is there any type of communication, say, with any? Because you have built a family together for 20 years. Does anyone still communicate with your ex-husband?
You know. In my family, no.
In your family, no.
No.
And then the family that you have together, because I mean, this was your husband. So I mean, his mother, all those, that he still has those people in place that
they all communicate with him.
But they don't communicate with you anymore. So it just separated a family. It was a line in the sand, and no one crosses it now. You guys.
One of his brothers recently called, and I was close with all of his family. Like he had 12 brothers, 5 sisters.
Wow.
We were all very close, I thought. But one of his brothers reached out to me, and you know, just basically apologized. And I felt like they didn't do this, so I'm not going to cut them off.
Right.
But the way they flipped it back, like to me, like check on your kids. Like these are your kids too. These are your.
Wow.
They didn't. They were so busy protecting him, his image, and who he was that they didn't even look back. But one of the brothers did reach out, and my sister-in-law on that side, you know, they're a couple, and we recently met up and went to went to breakfast, and it was really, really sweet. It was really touching because I don't hold them accountable, but it's the behaviors afterwards, you know, that I'm like, hey, now I see you know.
Right. So in a sense, do you feel like they kind of blamed it on your children for this incident that happened, even though he had history of being a serial rapist in the past? Or blamed it on your daughter, not your children?
Absolutely. At first, they wanted her to, you know, one of the family asked me, like, why don't you get her to just say it didn't happen, and then we'll work it out. Like, let's not take it to the police. They even like, why would you take it to the police, Veronica? Come on now. I'm like, what? So they didn't take it that seriously. But then when I went back and looked on who I was dealing with, the different things that happened in their family during the time, I was like, okay, you know, there were certain things that they're going to tolerate that I'm not going to tolerate from my kids.
And you didn't?
Did not. Thank God, because I mean, I could have been even sicker, you know, and tolerated that. And when I go speak to women, some of them do, and I just feel like, oh, I'm so sad for that child, because that's 2 betrayals, your mom and your dad.
It is. So how is it that, because you mentioned it, I'm not going to give, I'm sure it's so many more details you got to find. I can't wait to get into this book. But why is it that, with all this being true, did he get acquitted?
Well, the judge actually pulled me to the side later, and she just couldn't believe it because we had DNA, 99.9%. He actually, you know, he had a condom on. We had the condom. My daughter was in and out, like she didn't remember everything because she was drugged. And I think that people are sick is my only answer. Like, some of the jurors came up to me and said we would have never got, especially the alternative jurors, they were like, he would have never got off. But I think no one wanted to see this man who had no other priors. Like, why would he do that? And my daughter emphatically said, you know, I love my dad, but this is what he did. But she also smoked a blunt after that, and she also did something that was they call counterintuitive behavior. And if you know that about rape victims now, if we all knew that, we would have been like, oh, that's what happens to rape victims. She called her dad the next day because she didn't really, and then she realized while she was on the phone, oh my God, I think this is what my dad did. He came over, took the sheets off the bed, washed them, you know, and did all these things. And I don't know if the jurors were confused, like, well, she called her dad. So the defense attorney kind of made it seem like it was about me, like, oh, poor Veronica, she's the only one that didn't know her daughter and husband were having this affair.
Oh, wow.
And they twisted it. They used Woody Allen as an example. And they were like, it's nasty, but it's not illegal. So just that little twist. And my ex, as slick as he is, all of a sudden, instead of calling him his daughter, they would call her Miss Jackson, you know, by her last name.
Right.
And, you know, and I saw him do this before. That's why I'm like, oh. When his daughter, his biological child, well, turned out not to be,
He just got
rough. When
he just got bones. It ain't even Halloween. He got so many bones in this closet.
When we went to court, and this was back when years before, like little, you know, you can go back and you're like, they went to court, and the mother was trying to get child support from him. He didn't want to give it up. So he took a DNA test. But when he went to court, he kept saying, the baby, the child. And this girl was 14, his daughter. You know, and I begged him, don't do that now. But I saw that little subtle, and it just kind of separated himself, and he did the exact same thing.
And separated from the reality of it.
Right.
So how is it that they accused him of serial raping and none of those victims came through with court in that sense to get him if he didn't win this one, you know how sometimes
they keep going.
Yeah.
Well, we had one of my younger nieces actually stood
She was
up.
one of the victims?
Yeah. But we found out later. But she came to the court, but they didn't put her on trial. They thought they had enough evidence with my daughter. But she was there every day waiting to go up.
Right.
They didn't call her. So after a lot of people came out after. And I think this is just me thinking, but say you and I were friends. And, you know, he was attractive. He appeared to have money, you know. And say you guys hooked up on the side. Now, you're not going to tell me because now you don't look bad. But he would have raped you that night, and you would have been like, I was going to give it up. You know, but he didn't drug you and rape you. Now you can't come tell me.
Right.
Now you can't tell people because you'd be like, you know, I was out with Veronica's husband last night.
Right.
So then you got to answer all those questions. So you feel bad about yourself.
I got it.
So that's what he would do.
So he's preying on your friends and people around you doing this and not telling you, and then flipping the story on you. And so that's why the book is hence called Feeding a Monster, because you fed into all those I guess stereotypes or just things that fed that behavior for him. Okay, I get it. So I guess that's why you're a motivational speaker. I would love to. How often do you speak? It's another call. Well, we have a caller. Before we get into that, let's talk to this caller. Okay. Welcome, caller. Thank you for calling Beauty and the Beat. How are you?
Hi. You know, I'm listening to Veronica and what she's talking about, and it's just mind-blowing. It's disturbing. I was just wondering, she spoke about one of her daughters. I was wondering how many children she has and the relationship, I guess, she's having with her father now. But I was wondering how the other kids are doing as well.
Good question. I have 4 kids total, 3 girls, 1 boy. They're adults now, so I think they're doing as well as can be expected. They're starting their lives. A couple of them have kids. They're, working on developing relationships. And my youngest daughter and I are still having a little challenge, but I think that, from the circumstances, they're doing excellent. But we still have a ways to go.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll pray for you because that sounds like that's an ordeal to go through, to say the least.
Absolutely.
And make sure you pick up the book, Feeding a Monster.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All righty, thank you.
Beauty and the Beat.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
See, a lot of people, they relate to this story. I mean, it's so many questions, and it's more questions probably than answers, but I'm sure that's why you wrote the memoir, so people can identify with what they're going through, whether it be the same thing or something similar or something that they're feeding a behavior in someone that they're dealing with, looking at eye to eye, that they don't even know it's a monster. It doesn't become the monster until it hits them that this is wrong.
I think also that it becomes a monster when you don't know who you are. When you don't accept and you don't know your worth, then you allow things that are unworthy to happen to you.
Okay.
So, you don't say, hey, come rape me. But, you put yourself in predicaments. You don't feel valuable when someone is talks to you bad, you accept it. Versus like me, trying to fix it. Now, why am I trying to fix you when I should just move forward? You know what I mean? I was like, you know what, that doesn't fit.
So why do you feel like it started? You're saying fixing, I guess you say fix you first and then you can fix. But
no, you never fix anyone else.
Right, you can't. So it starts with you, self-healing in a sense. Was this your first time trying to heal yourself or what you felt like? No?
I felt like my entire life, I think that's the only way I was carried through this. Because I was always very spiritual. I was always praying. I was always journaling. Like, even when he would, like, leave at, like, right after I knew he was going to come back till 5 in the morning, when he'd walk out, I would try to tell him not to go. But he would go, and as soon as he left, I was like, writing.
Yeah, writing about it.
So,
but you didn't tell him that.
No. I tried everything with him. I
Okay.
used to write him letters. I would beg, stop, look at the kids. I did it all. But I think what I didn't understand and where my craziness was he's not treating you well. Why are you trying to do, I had enough income as far as, I wasn't stuck. I was an RN at 20 years old. I could have moved on. I mean, I wouldn't have had a man that day.
Right.
But
you could have.
I could have been fine. But I was in so much pain from my childhood and from me not, I was too young to be in the relationship that I was. I didn't have the self-worth that I needed. And people on the outside looking in didn't see that.
How did you get there?
Get to the self-worth?
Yeah.
Actually, I think Oprah says it like, first
the aha moment.
Somebody gonna tap you, and I was tapped, and finally I got hit with a bat. Like, this was like a bomb that went off, and I had no choice because I fixed it, patched it, glued it, patched it, glued it, and then now it was like it was shattered. So I had to begin again. And so I think through prayer and through people stepping up, I never reached out for help. That's another thing. I never asked anybody for help ever. And I had to say, like, help me. Like, I'm dying.
Who did you, was it God? Like, do you pray about it? Because that's my sense of, like, okay, let me just pray about this.
Yeah,
but who did you reach out to
I had
when
to
you first
physically reach out? I went straight to Agape, which is my church.
Okay.
And Reverend Michael, I was actually speaking that day.
Okay.
And before the church started, I was like, help me, we're dying. Help me. Like,
you said that before you even.
Right.
Okay.
And so he pulled us to the back, he talked to us, and he's like, you don't have to speak. I said, no, I want to speak. I don't know what I'm going to say. And I broke down at church. And then people started coming and, giving me love. I'm supposed to be helping you, and I needed the help.
Right.
My mom was a rock, always. She's not very
she didn't know about
verbal.
any of those things.
She lived with us.
You're kidding.
No, she did not. She was just as hurt as I was. She loved her son-in-law. He spoiled us. He took good care of us. So she was just as hurt, and she had to go through her own thing.
Process.
Yeah. So, and I think I started realizing who my real people were, because certain people started falling off, and it was okay. I didn't have the energy to
save
nothing.
it. Yeah. I get that. I totally can get that. Wow. So now not only do you have this book, this is your first book, and it seems to be well received. Do you plan to write others? Is there you do? Okay.
I have other books written, I just haven't published them yet. Yeah.
Well, we got to let this marinate. People are still catching on and getting into. I understand. Well, hold out.
Yeah.
What about has anyone approached you, maybe making it visual, film, something like something documentary aspect?
I have had some people talk about it, but nothing has come out yet.
Right.
But I think it would be an awesome film because just the whole story, just the whole the ins and outs of everything. I think it would be a dynamic story.
I do too. The visually, because telling the story, you can hear it visually. So it's always things that you read in a book that when you see it come to life, you can see that.
Yeah. I started to put pictures in there, but then I was like, no, just let people.
Yeah. I'm like, pictures of what? No, I know. Then they could it's too real. But it is that real. So you want people to identify that this is a true story. It's my memoir. It's my story. It's my history. And it's still a work in progress because you still have kids that are dealing with what they dealt with throughout your marriage that now they're dealing with in their own adulthood.
Yeah.
So you do motivational speaking. I want to get into that, and also want to talk about the nap film event going on that you will be speaking at tomorrow.
Yep.
Right?
Tomorrow.
Okay. So do you know about it, Shona? Do you want to chime in and tell us what's going on tomorrow for nap film? You don't want to chime in? Oh, Shona always be like that. My sister from
She's the behind the scenes
She's
girl.
the behind the scenes.
Also a NAPFM member.
Well, okay. Yeah, let's just talk about, we're going to talk about Speak Up and Speak Out Domestic Violence Forum. And this is when you will be a guest speaker. And I like the fact that you're speaking at this event, especially since it is about domestic violence and you've dealt with that within your relationship. And there's an executive chef, Phila Williams, that will be on there, and another motivational speaker, and Arthur Harris Ross. Harris?
Harris.
Oh, Harris. I'm sorry. I'm not Harris Miles. But it's in recognition of Domestic Violence Month. So where else? Well, let me finish thinking about this. This is at the Pan Pacific Recreational Center. It's inside their meeting lounge. So other NAPFM members of the executive board will be in there. It's an amazing panel, you being on there, and you're
excited.
You're excited about it. So you're excited to share your story, get your book out there, tell people about it. But what is one of the, I guess, what do you talk about when you do speak to other women, and what is the feedback that you receive?
That's a good question. I talk. I was thinking tomorrow I will probably talk about more of emotional abuse, because I wasn't beaten, but I was so emotionally abused that I was still the victim of abuse.
Right.
And so I talk about that. I talk about the counterintuitive behavior. I talk about post-traumatic stress disorder that my daughter had it.
So you kind of had, as soon as you had a baby, you walked into that and you were in a new marriage.
Yeah.
Got it.
But my daughter, no, that's postpartum depression. I know about that because I'm an RN and I take care of
Okay, got it. Okay, I'm like, huh?
And my mom had it. That's where that came from in the book. But my post-traumatic stress disorder is a lot of times after people are raped or traumatized in any kind of way. I thought it was just people that came home from war. But no, it is amazing. And I was the wrong parent, or I didn't have the tools to take care of her when after she was raped, because I just felt like, let's get up, pull up your bootstraps, let's fix this. We dumped him and we will move, and that's not what you do.
It wasn't the hill.
Oh my God, it was so hard. But if I had tools and people told me, okay, she's going to go through this, this is how you handle that, here's where you can take her, that would have been so helpful for me.
Got it.
It was a nightmare.
I can only imagine. I can't wait to be there tomorrow and hear what these tools are. Let's get more into these tools, but we have a caller that we're going to take.
Okay.
Hello, caller. Thank you for calling Beauty and the Beat. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We're wonderful. Who am I speaking with?
My name is Heidi.
Hi, Heidi. You're here with Veronica Loving. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Hi,
doing well. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
Okay, so I know Veronica, and I've known her for many years, and I have watched her. I have watched her be an encouragement and a support to my family and to many people who've gone through various kinds of trauma. And she has always been just a powerful woman of influence, and learning some of the things that she experienced in her life through this process of what happened with her daughter. I marvel at how she has been able to hold herself, to move forward through traumas. And I wanted to ask her, I have seen her take beauty from ashes, and she's suffering while it's happening. And so I wanted to ask her
Would you say
about
right, we both
what that
did. I'm
looks
sorry.
like.
You said you've seen. Can you repeat what you just said one more time? I'm sorry.
So, beauty for ashes, where there's so much brokenness, there's so much devastation for what's lost. And she still gets up, and you can still call her if you need help or somebody you know needs help, and she's there to help them navigate. And so I wanted to ask her about how it is that she's done this, how it is that she has stayed so positive. There are people who experience things and it just breaks them down. She has remained positive. She has remained an encouragement and support to people who are going through much less than she's going through. And how that has looked like, what has enabled her to do that, because I really marvel at her. She has been a powerful force for good and a very, very positive person through the worst of things. I've seen her be betrayed by close friends, what happened with her husband. Her kids have suffered and struggled because of that. And she's remained, even with her hurt, even when she feels like she can't get up, she's remained very positive, and there's tremendous encouragement to women who reach out.
Heidi, I really appreciate you saying that, and I think that when I think about it, you don't really know how you do things, but I think that, my lifetime of prayer, my parents, my positive grandparents and all that stuff, that's what I leaned on. And I tried to stay who I was, because I told myself I'm not going to let him change me. So I think when you just speak out your truth and you don't have anything else to hide, you're free. So you're free to help other people, and you have to be able to, stand in love and stand in power. And I think that once I made that decision, then I had to walk that journey. And I've always cared about other people, and maybe too much, but I thought, I want to be genuine. And so I want to be authentic. I don't want to be the product of his disaster. So I was not going to allow him to break me. I was not going to allow him to break my children. And, you know, and I had therapists say, okay, Veronica, you know, you're going to break. You're going to break. And I was waiting, but I just know that God is good, and I stand in that. That's the power that is behind me, through me, and that's what I stand in.
That's an awesome place to be standing. Caller, did you have any more questions?
No, I don't. I just wanted to say to Veronica, thank you for her authenticity, for her love for people, and she always looks for the good in people. So I appreciate her, and thank you for featuring her on the show.
Oh, thank you, Heidi.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. God bless you guys.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Well, awesome. I mean, everything is empowering and encouraging, and you know, I speak up and speak out, and that's really what they're saying. That, you know, through all of this, what you've witnessed, what you've seen, what you've been through, even without knowing, no one's blaming you. You know, and a lot of times, as someone that's been through this or been a victim, you choose to be a survivor through this situation. We both looking at our hair it's somewhere like it's them headphones. I don't know what to do, but no, I get it. It's like, instead of, you are a victim in this, your daughter is a victim in this, but you choose to overcome this and be survivors, even if you're still seeking out the answers. That's what this memoir is about. And if anyone can, you know, empathize with that or relate to it, read this book. Because Feeding a Monster shows that it doesn't have to be your exact same situation, but they can get through anything and survive it and choose. You have to choose to be a victim of that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And choose not to, like, you know the signs, know what it is. So I encourage everyone to come tomorrow, Thursday, October 20th, from 6:30 to 9 p.m. and hear you, as well as some other people and some wonderful women on the board of NAPFM, including Miss Shona over there, that she chooses to remain to be silent over here. She's not standing up or speaking out today. She said, I'm saving it for tomorrow. But yeah, Shona, we got you on camera on your thing. And she always looks so beautiful.
I know. She's got
just
such a pretty smile.
She irradiates, as do you.
Oh, thank you.
So I really, truly appreciate you sharing your time, yourself with us, your story, your
Thank you
book.
for having me. I appreciate it.
I really appreciate you coming, all the callers that called in, listening, and I want you to read Feeding a Monster, a memoir written by Veronica Loving with Jasmine Jackson, who is your daughter, who also experienced this, and they can hear about you and everything. And it's Amazon.com. Do you personally have a website, or should we just
direct? It's a work in progress.
It's a work in progress.
It's almost
so,
done.
do you have social media? I forgot to. So
I have
Facebook. I know you have that.
Yeah, Veronica Loving on Facebook.
Okay.
And then Instagram, I believe it's Verbooboo. Don't hate me.
What?
We'll only be that first.
Okay, so you know what? This is how we're going to do it. Instead of getting y'all all wrapped up, Google Veronica Loving, and you definitely will be led to veronicaloving.com as your website. Okay, there it is there. Veronica Loving, as it improves and shapes up, you can watch her go through this as well. But I definitely, Amazon.com, Feeding a Monster. If you don't have this book, I suggest you go on there and get that, and then find out anything else more that you want to find out on Facebook, Veronica Loving, veronicaloving.com. They can see that, read the book, get the book, Feeding a Monster, and definitely come check you out and check out other NAPFM members like myself and Miss Shona over here at the Speak Up and Speak Out Domestic Violence Forum.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's going to be awesome.
Do you have anything else you want to add?
Well, if anybody wants to book me for speaking engagements, that would be great. And I think
definitely, I think
go through
Shona,
who
doesn't want to be on camera, but you can hit her up at the MV7 group, because she's MV7 certified, and and we'll have some information up on the website as well, and you could also follow how do you say your Shona? What what is your I know how to say Shona emoji, but your email, what?
Oh,
I mean, not your email. It's another caller. We calling. We're going to get you that information, because we popping. Ouch.
Oh, no. You okay?
Don't show that on camera. Hi. Thank you for calling Beauty and the Beat. How are you?
Hi. I'm fine. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm wonderful. What's your name?
Well, I'd like to remain anonymous for the purpose of this call.
Okay.
You're on with Veronica Loving. Did you have a question for her?
Yes. I wanted to know why predators are so protected.
Why are they so protected from, you mean from prosecution or from personal?
And, you know, I tend to see a lot of rallying around people that do horrific things when they're male and it's a sex crime.
I think a lot of it is our society, and I think that a lot of it is because as women, we hold secrets, and we need to learn to value ourselves and actually call people out on their stuff. And also, we have to change laws in the courts about how sexual predators are treated and how they're prosecuted. And we also need to learn, it's really important that we learn about counterintuitive behavior, because a lot of women, especially when they're raped, molested, or anything like that, they will still be with their molester, they'll still cook for their rapist, things like that. If we know that that's the case, that is a strange phenomenon, but what happens is that's how they kind of feel like they're getting their power back, which is a psychosis thing that they're going through. I don't know if it's psychosis or psych issue that they're going through at the time because of the trauma. It's how they protect themselves. So once we start learning that, it's almost like, you know, the battered women, that now we know that they will protect their batterer, but we now know all the signs. They'll isolate, they'll do all these things. Once we're aware of that, then the juries will be more educated, the court systems will be more educated, and people won't judge as much. And we can get some of these people help, because they need help too. There's some sick people out there.
Do you think that those people can be rehabilitated?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, if you want to go, if you are a believer in God, then anybody can be rehabilitated. I think we're going to have to start with forgiveness. I think we have to start with prosecution and accountability. So once there's prosecution and accountability, then we can, you know, go through that way. But if for us as victims, it doesn't help us to hold on to it. It doesn't help us to continue to live in that pain. We got to let it go, and we got to do something about it.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's such a wonderful answer. Thank you for your inspiring book.
Thank you. Thank you for calling.
Thank you.
God bless.
God bless you too.
So many people are dealing with something, and she had a poignant question, like, why do we feel like so many people are protected, even with what's going on in politics now? I mean, or even taking it back to, say, Bill Cosby. You know what I mean? I have no opinion that I want to share right now, but just the action. No, seriously. But I mean, it's prevalent right now because we see it with Donald Trump. I said, this reminds me of 6 months ago, like, oh, one woman comes out and then they all want to speak, and that was kind of your story, and it was like, was it shared a little too late because they were so protected by whom they were? This was your husband, who was known as an athlete. He was a sports person. He was a family man. He had never been convicted of a crime, or something like that. So it's like, he couldn't have did that. Absolutely. Oh no, this person running for our president couldn't do. So these people are in some senses protected. That's some of the power that they use to get to do what they do. Right. So they use that, you know, and like, say, a black man of prominence, I can see him, like, okay, so let's go with the wife. Right. If this is true, because we don't know, it hasn't been decided, but if it is true, people, want to get on the wife. People want to say she knew. No, that's not true, because she's protected. I can even be like a fly on the wall in their house, and I know the first thing he said is, I'm black, I'm powerful, they're coming for me. And you're going to believe that because that happened. So you're going to be like, yeah, this is my man, blah, blah, blah. So he knows your buttons, he knows. And that's they're master manipulators, like masters. Right. So it's not fair to say what she knew. It's not fair to say what I knew. Right. But, it seems impossible, it seems strange, but until you're in it, you'll never know. And until you speak out, you never know what courage you're giving that next woman to speak out. Absolutely. So that their story can be heard. So if 1 or 30 come out, they did not want to come out until they heard your story. So you're still empowering that next person, no matter how powerless you felt prior to that. So your story still needs to be heard. I think it's an awesome story, an awesome book. You know what I mean? I can't wait for other people to read it, hear you tomorrow. And I just see all the encouragement and sense of, it's giving everyone a sense of hope that is reading it or being touched by your words as a motivational speaker. I can see that.
What is that syndrome when a rapist or a kid gets kidnapped and then they end up like
Stockholm's?
Yeah. That's a lot what it is.
So y'all just gonna went all psychological on me? I did not major in that. I majored in journalism and communications, and I have skill sets and other things. That's not one of them. But Stockholm's, we could look that up. So that is something where you protect your
captor. And that's a survival mechanism that you got to make it not so bad, so he can't be. You almost seem like you fall in love with someone who like kidnaps you and takes you away, and then
it's almost like they're charming you through the experience.
Yeah, and they could be the grossest thing, but then you kind of feel like, even with my ex-husband, I'm glad you brought that up, because when he went to jail, I thought, okay, what does a good wife do? She doesn't turn her back if he's sick. My brain was like,
right.
And so I was like, well, there must be a therapy. There must be a support group for sexual predators.
Right,
you know?
right. And you're a nurse, so you know that there's something in every field for everything.
And I was thinking later, I was like, okay, that was, wow. You know, like, wow. That was insane, really, because I was still trying to fix it.
I have another question now. Because of that we just brought up, is that you're able to give so much encouragement through your words or through your book or through your speaking. And I know in some ways you said that this was your therapy in some sense, but did you ever go through some did you
therapy.
seek professional help or therapy in this for a support group or something to reach out for you to even get to this place?
Well, I didn't go to a support group. I wanted to go to therapy. I wanted to check out. I wanted to move to the Bahamas and just live on the beach and have therapy, whatever. I wanted to check out. But I wasn't able to because my kids they needed me.
Right.
So I kept trying to fix them. I was still in the fix it mode. I did get a therapist, Rikisha, for a while.
Okay.
I tried, and I didn't have the time to do it like I wanted to. And
you had to be
then another kid fell apart, and then I had to do this and I had to do that. So I think more so I was always a practitioner at Agape, which was a lot of training. And so I had to lean on that. I had practitioner friends that were praying for me.
Okay.
I have, like Heidi was a person that prayed for me. I had Missy. So many people held me up.
So
you got to realize
had your own support group. Once
Yeah.
you spoke out, the support came.
Yes.
Okay.
And some of them were like, we've been waiting to help you with something, and I'm like, okay, well, help me walk today because I'm about to die.
Right.
So prayer is so powerful. It's palpable.
Right.
When you really need
can feel
it's palpable. So that's what I feel like helped me with that walk. And then I always try to do something better. I'm always trying to. And I think the main thing was telling the truth. Like saying, I am not perfect.
Your truth will set you free.
Yes.
Okay, got it. That's wonderful, and it's powerful. Yeah. Well, we're running out of time here, but I thank you so much. Don't forget to check out Veronica Loving on Facebook or on veronicaloving.com. You're available for speaking engagements.
Yes.
And if you want to read her book, you can head to amazon.com. Feeding a Monster. You can show the picture. Didn't we have a picture?
Oh, my shirt.
Oh, okay.
What? My shirt is
and
on
your
my
shirt. You got a shirt. You well rounded. We got all this. And also, we just look forward to seeing you tomorrow as well, which I will be there tomorrow evening, Thursday. And then, we could go through, you can go out with the NABFEM video. I'm just going to show our listeners something what NABFEM is about. We, this was at the first relaunch back some months ago, maybe 5 months ago, when we decided to relaunch out here.
Okay.
And they did their first event. So this is another event coming up soon. But I'll go out to that video. But thank you for tuning in. Tune in every week on Wednesday at 3:30. And thank you, Veronica, for coming out.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We out. Beauty and the Beat. I didn't even talk about her.
This past week, I had the pleasure of moderating the NABFEM Los Angeles relaunch. The event was held at the wonderful and tasty Philippe Chow's in Beverly Hills. It was a pleasure to be around so many successful women in business. The All-Star Board consists of Carolyn Brewer, who's the Director of Operations. We had Felicia Wright, Ashley Woods, Cheryl Foster, and Shona Aladia. The All-Star Board encouraged non-members to join. They explained a little bit about the organization. They explained about their skill set. We talked with each and every person that came in the room to find out exactly what they did, what type of business they were in. We talked to them about why it is important to join NABFEM and the importance of the relaunch specifically for the Los Angeles chapter. So NABFEM was founded in 1999, and it was done by music industry executive Johnny Walker, who we also had the pleasure of speaking with. I'm here at the NABFEM relaunch for LA, and I'm here with Miss Johnny Walker, the founder, and I want to know, how excited are you for the relaunch for Los Angeles?
Wow, that's a good question. The thing is, Los Angeles has always been one of those markets where we excelled, but you know, sometimes you're up, you're down, and you got a good group, and everybody wanted to really make a lot of things happen for us here. Just, you know, what can I say, lifestyle changes and challenges, but the thing is, the girls have always stuck together. They've always been together, and so they just sat down one day and said, look, this is LA, and we're gonna do this. And I just kind of took a back seat and said, well, I tell you what, you girls put it together, you girls do it, and wherever I can fit in, that's where I'm going to fit in. So to be in LA, which is like the capital, music entertainment capital, and to have our organization which focuses on women in music and entertainment, to be in LA, absolutely phenomenal, just phenomenal.
I love it. I'm excited. I was so excited to hear about your organization and see how many programs you've implemented and see how large and how many cities that you're in. So it's exciting to see that you're here in Los Angeles.
We love it.
What do you think has been the key? Because you've been in existence since 2000, correct?
Yes.
So what has been the key to existing and building your brand for so long? Because I mean, some things come and go, but this thing's, I guess, here to stay. So what do you think has been the key to sticking around so long and keeping such a good organization going strong?
Well, I think the challenges that we face as women, they may be up and down.
Correct.
But some of them remain the same. As you see right now in the current president's administration, we're talking about equal pay for equal work.
Yes.
So there are a lot of things, and especially in the entertainment industry, just our unequal fair share. I mean, you know, and one of the things that when we started the organization, it was about all of the work that women do, but mostly women, you didn't even know who they were. But they were really toiling, they were really doing a lot of work, but just didn't know who they were. Okay. So we felt that with this organization, we could raise the profile, we could increase the awareness, and at the same time kind of magnify the job opportunities. So that's what we set out to do, and we have done that. But that issue has not subsided. It's still here. We still need awareness.
So we still have work to do.
We still got work to do.
Okay.
There's still a lot to be done, so I think that's why we're still around. Because if there was no need for us to network, if there was no need for us to have awareness, if there was no need for us to be visible, then we'd go away. So that's why we're still here.
I love it. NABFEM is the National Association of Black Female Executives in Music and Entertainment. During the event, we had a special guest speaker. Her name was Miss Ophelia Harper, CEO of Clay House Visual Branding Firm, where she expressed how she got on her journey and what she got out of the experience of joining NABFEM.
I'm able to help people's vision bloom. It's the greatest thing to see, and it's so fulfilling. So I'm just honored to be here. I appreciate every single one of you for just listening. Hopefully I've shared something that you guys can walk away with.
So we got to talk to a lot of women. They shared their stories, how they joined, and why it was really important to join NABFEM. I would like to encourage all the women in business, music, and entertainment to join NABFEM. Go to join at nabfem.org